the recently the Rajya Sabha cleared the bill of the Wildlife Protection Act. Recently, it was pending in the Rajya Sabha from the last 6 months, but in the winter session they cleared the bill, and it is all about the Rajya Sabha passed the Wildlife Protection Amendment Bill 2022, which seeks to conserve and protect wildlife through the better management of the protected area and the relation of the schedule that list out the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So it's become important to learn about the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So before starting the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, we will see कैसे start हुआ ये protection of species status कहाँ से start हुआ. They started with the Britisher implemented the first act. If you see in 1887, the Wild Bird Protection Act was passed by the British Indian government the first time in India. In 1887, the first time was passed in India. Then in 1912, they also include the animal. In 1887, they passed for the birds, but in the 1912, they also include the animal in it, and the act name was Wild Bird and the Animal Protection Act. Then finally, it was amended in the 1935. If you see in the 1972, before 1972, forest was the state subject. Before 1972, forest was the state subject. But after the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, forest was added in the concurrent list so that the state and the center both can make law on the forest subject. So this was the history of the acts. कैसे start हुआ इंडिया में acts का wildlife protection, even it's about the plant, even it's about the animals. तो कहाँ से majorly start हुआ? That start from the Britisher time. Now we again amended this act. Wildlife Protection Act 1972 is again amended in 2022. What are the major amendment? It's about the the 1972 Act already have the 6 schedules. Now they are reduced it to the 4 schedules. 2 schedules are merged out and the 1 is deleted, and they added the 1 new schedule. So we will look into it, which schedule are deleted, which are merged, and which one is the new one is added into the act. And then they also allowed the trade for the elephants, which was prohibited in the initial act, but now they allow for the trade of the elephants, and now it's the open-ended. They are not prescribed any limits कि किस केस में आप कर सकते हैं, किस केस में नहीं. So even in the question was raised by the opposition member in the Rajya Sabha about this issue, why the open-ended trade is allowed for the elephants. So first we will see the constitution provision. If you see the polity paper, they are asking the provision which are common in the DPSP, fundamental duties and the fundamental rights. So we will see how this environmental protection is enshrined in the Constitution of India. So if we see the 42nd Amendment Act of 1973, forest and protection of the wildlife, animal and birds were transferred from the state to the concurrent list. So it was transferred in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So it's an important information. It transferred in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. The forest initial was a state subject, but now it is in the concurrent list. Concurrent list means both the center and the states can make law on the forest details. In fundamental duty, the article 51AG, under the fundamental duty, it comes under the article 51AG of the Constitution, state that it shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment, including the forest and the wildlife. So in a fundamental duty, article 51A, it's saying that it's a duty of the individual. It's a duty of the individual to protect and improve the environment, including the forest and the wildlife. Yes, it's a bill was introduced जब amend किया हमने constitution में. It's about the Forest and Protection of Wildlife Animal Act, and this is the different act, Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. जब हमने change किया for the state subject, it's related to the Forest Act. And in the DPSP, if we say it's a duty of the state, in the DPSP, if we can say article 48A, it's a duty of states to safeguard the wildlife as well as the forest in the country. It's a duty of the states. In a DPSP, it's a duty of the states. In a fundamental duty, it's a duty of the individuals. So these are the 3 main constitutional provisions under which the wildlife are protected in the Constitution. Number 1, in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Number 2, the fundamental duty, Article 51A, and number 3, directive principle of state policy, Article 48A. So now we will see about the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 before amendment. Last week से पहले क्या-क्या provisions थे? So we can easily differentiate between the now what are amended now and what are the initial provision. Wildlife Protection Act 1972, the act was enacted for the protection of the plant and animal, and it was extended to whole India in 1972. But in the case of Jammu Kashmir, the act was not implemented till 2019. They are having the separate act, the Wildlife Protection Act of Jammu and Kashmir 1978. So कश्मीर में implement नहीं था Wildlife Protection Act 1972 till 2019, जब तक कश्मीर को इंडिया का पार्ट नहीं बनाया गया. In 2019 they include the Kashmir as a complete part of the India, and all the provision of the Constitution of India now implemented in the Kashmir also. So they are having their different act, Wildlife Protection Act of Jammu and Kashmir 1978, and all over India at that time the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 was implemented. At present there are total 106 national park in India. When this act was formed, at that time only the 6 national park was in India. Before 1972 there was only the 6 national park, but now there are the 106 national park in India. Now which are the major authority which are appointed under this act? कौन कौन सी authority हैं, क्या control है, what are the appointment authority, कौन है, कौन appoint करता है? तो let's see. The central government appoints a director of wildlife preservation, and assistant directors and other officers subordinate to directors. Mainly है कि it's the director of the wildlife preservation एक appoint किया जाएगा, which will look into the acts, क्या issue है, क्या कुछ change हुआ है, if there is any issue persist in all over the India, then the director of wildlife preservation will see into it. Similarly, in the state government, appoint a chief wildlife warden. The state government will appoint a chief wildlife warden, and it is also appointed as a at district level also, wildlife wardens at the district level. So there are the 3 authority we can say. At the central level, director of the wildlife preservation. At the center level, director of wildlife preservation. At the state level, chief wildlife warden. At the district level, wildlife warden. अगर आप में से किसी ने IFS का पेपर दिया हो, इंडियन फॉरेस्ट सर्विस का, तो उसके बारे में आपको एक जनरल नॉलेज पता होगी क्या हायरार्की होती है. इंडियन फॉरेस्ट सर्विस का जब पेपर दोगे तो इसके जनरल एक आइडिया होना चाहिए आप लोगों को कि क्या हायरार्की होती है, किस पोस्ट पे कौन जाता है. So you need to know at the highest level it's a director of wildlife preservation. At the state level a chief wildlife warden is there, and at the district level wildlife warden in each district, and it would be appointed by the state government in each districts. Now let's come to the salient feature of the acts. What is the main features of the act? सबसे पहले तो it's prohibit the hunting of the animal species in the schedule 1, 2, 3 and 4 of the act. So if we can say it's a prohibition of the hunting. It's prohibit the hunting of all the animals under the schedule 1 to 4. Now the schedule 2, 3 are merged, so we can see it's prohibit in the other schedules now. So initially it was prohibiting the hunting in the schedule 1 to 4 because in 1 to 4 all animals were there. In the schedule 5 it's for the vermin, and the schedule 6 for the plant species. So in the 1 to 4 species all were animals, so it's prohibiting the hunting of the animals, all the animals species in the under the act. But what are the exception? Exception pe already they asked the one statement in 2022. They are saying when you can kill a animal, in what case you can kill an animal. It was one of the statements that was the question asked in the 2022. Exception: a wildlife animal listing under this schedule can be hunted, killed only after getting permission from the chief wildlife warden of the state. Only after the permission of the chief wildlife warden of the states you can kill any animal. उसके बाद भी condition है, when he will give the permission. It become dangerous to human life or to property, if it damaging the property of the humans, or it's danger to the human life, including the standing crops on any land. If it is disabled or suffering from a disease, if it disabled or suffering from a disease and the disease are incurable, जिसकी वजह से वो ठीक नहीं हो सकते हैं, they can only kill them. Or if the animal is killing the human beings, This statement was in the 2022 paper. This second statement was given in the 2022 paper as an option. So you need to study any act, any right about कि इसके act के अंदर क्या है. It's not enough कि you बस know कि schedule 6 schedules हैं. Now schedules are 4. It's not enough. You need to study deeply exactly what the act is saying. क्या protection level है, कौन protect करता है, what are the condition under the act which be protected. नहीं, vermin के केस में नहीं है. Now the vermin is removed from the act. According to the new amendment, if you will see, the vermin schedule is removed from the act. We will discuss later on. But initially, under this act, there is no permission required for the killing of the vermin. The vermin were under the schedule 5. So I will discuss the schedule 5 as well here. We are looking at the previous provision. And some of are the unchangeable. कुछ change नहीं हुआ है. I will show the what are the changes in this provision ना. So we will look into it. Prohibition of cutting of the uprooting of the specified plant. कुछ medicinal plants हैं, कुछ protected plants हैं. You cannot uproot without the permission. So they are the giving. You cannot prohibit. Sorry, you cannot cut or uproot the specified plants. Exception in the case if there is institutions like those who are studying for the botany, they need some specific plants for their study. So they are allowed for the education purpose, for the scientific research, and for the preservation in a herbarium. So इस case में only allowed है, but in the another case, the uprooting of the plants of a specified species are not allowed under this act. So we can see for the animals, you cannot prohibit or hunt the animals under the schedule 1 to 4. Under schedule 6, you are not allowed for the uprooting of the plants. Schedule 5 is related to vermin, so there is no need to take a permission from the Wildlife Board. Declaration and the protection of the wildlife sanctuary and the national park. The government can also declare an area as a national park. The central government can declare an area as a national park by the consultation with the state government. They also appointed a collector by the central government to administer the area declared as a sanctuary. Under this act, there were the various body constituted under this act. So they can ask like a sum of the body, National and the State Board of Wildlife, Central Zoo Authority, National Tiger Conservation Authority, and the sum 2-3 more. I will show you. This statement, the government property, was also in your paper in 2021. Which are the property of the central government? The statement was about the central government का क्या property है. If you are hunt an animal, it's a property of the central government or not. The statement was about this in 2021 UPSC paper. So what it's saying about government property? Hunted wild animals other than vermins, animal articles or meat of a wildlife animal, and ivory imported into India and an article made from such ivory is a property of the government. ये कहना चाह रहा है जो भी protected species है, all is the property of government, even it's alive, even it's dead. So it's a property of the central government. So these were the statements in your paper in 2021. State government कर सकती है और central government भी कर सकती है. Even in the consultation of the state government, central government announced the national park. These are the body constituted under this act. So you can write National Board of Wildlife, Standing Committee of National Board of Wildlife, State Board of Wildlife, Central Zoo Authority, National Tiger Conservation Authority, and the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. So sometimes they ask the question, these authority derive their power from which act? तो इस केस में कंफ्यूज नहीं होना. These authority derive their power from the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So this kind of question they also ask, these authority derive their power from the which act? So these all authority derive their power from the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Now we will see the schedules of the act. Initially there were 6 schedules, so we will look into all the 6 schedules. In schedule 1 to 4, there was the animal species. They were protected according to their status. Which are the endangered one, which are the critically endangered one, which are the normal, which are in the high population are put under the schedule 4. जिसके लिए concern नहीं है, that were put in the schedule 4. Those who are the critically endangered, they are put in the schedule 1. So they are making a law. It's cover the endangered species that need rigorous protection. जिनको बहुत ज़्यादा protection चाहिए. जैसे tiger. Tiger are put it under this schedule. A person is liable to hardship penalty for the violation. If you have violated this schedule of the act, if you are violating the Wildlife Protection Act first schedule, then it can cause you the highest penalty under this act. Now they define the penalty amounts in the amendments. What is the penalty amount will be there? They also define in the amendment. Under the schedule, prohibited to be hunted throughout the India, except under threat to human life. In a case of threat to the human life and the DGs, there is only exception, और कोई भी exception नहीं है. Under the two exception only in the DGs as well as under the threat to the human life. Human lives के लिए अगर कोई threat है animals or it's a disease or uncurable disease है, in that case you can kill the animal, otherwise you cannot kill the animal. Example are black buck, Bengal tiger, clouded leopard, and the snow leopards. These are some of the example animals which are included in the Schedule 1. These exceptions are applicable right now. I will show you which are the amended. जो part amend होगा, I will show you in the next step कि क्या amend हुआ है. Here is also the Chief Wildlife Commissioner will permit only. The complete this act is under the Chief Wildlife Commissioner only. He has the authority to do that. In the Schedule 2, there are only the status of the animal is changed, but the protection is providing the same. Like if the critically endangered are provided under the Schedule 1, then the endangered animals are putting under the Schedule 2. But the protection level is the same, but the category of the animal is different. If you see the example, Assamese macaw, Bengal Hanuman langur, Himalayan black bear, and the Himalayan salamander. These are some of the example of the animals which are put under the Schedule 2. Similarly, in the Schedule 3 and 4, you see which are not endangered, जहाँ पे population is enough in a country. They are the schedule with वहाँ पे population enough है country में. So these are the animals put under the Schedule 3 and the 4. These are the spotted deer, blue sheep, and the hyena. Initially, there was the Schedule 5 also. It is related to vermin. And now this schedule is deleted under the new amendment. The Schedule 5 vermin is deleted under the new amendments. So there are the main 4 vermin species were identified: common crow, fruit bats, rats, and the mice. Common crow, fruit bats, rats, and mice. These are the 4 vermin species were identified by the government. So these were comes under the Schedule 5. So without that, he can show that अगर वो पढ़ा लिखा होता तो he can show that कि it's come under the vermin species. Maybe the variety of species कुछ और होगा, but the rats and mice are allowed under the vermin. Animal Cruelty Act के अंदर होगा जो pharmacy के अंदर आता है कि like कि I am also the pharmacist. तो जिस केस में जब we are doing the experiment in the labs on the mice, that was also prohibited now after the 2019 due to the Cruelty on Animal Acts कि आप नहीं कर सकते हैं test. So Schedule 6, it's provide a regulation on the cultivation of the specified plants. If you see Schedule 1 to 4 was all related to the animals. Schedule 5 was related to the vermin, and the Schedule 6 is related to the plant species. Some of the plants native to India, blue orchid and the red orchid and the pitcher plant, you can see. These are the protected species under the Schedule 6 of the Act. These are the protected species under the Schedule 6 of the Act. These are the native species. Now, we will see, अभी तक हमने क्या देखा एक्ट में, एक्ट स्टार्ट कहां से हुआ, द ओरिजिन ऑफ द एक्ट, व्हाट आर द मेजर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन इन द एक्ट, मेजर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस लाइक द फंडामेंटल ड्यूटी अंडर द 42nd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट्स एंड द अंडर द डीपीएसपी, व्हिच आर द मेजर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन. एंड नाउ उसके बाद हमने देखा व्हाट आर द मेजर शेड्यूल इन द एक्ट्स, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन आर गिवन, व्हाट आर द मेजर अथॉरिटी अंडर द एक्ट, हु हैज द पावर फॉर डिसाइडेड कि किस एनिमल को किल किया जा सकता है, किसको नहीं किया जा सकता. There are 2 conditions under you can kill: if it dangerous to the human, if it is having a non-curable disease. In that case, you can kill the animal. Now we will see what are the recent amendment under the act. अभी जो changes हुए हैं, that's the main thing under the act. What are the major changes are happened under the act? So let's see what are the objective of the bill. जब bill को पार्लियामेंट में लेके आया जाता है तो there are some certain objective, may be related to the public के लिए, may be related to the protection of the species, or may be related to the protection of the wildlife. Different wildlife, may be the animal, it may be the plant. So we can see protection of the endangered species and to enhance the punishment for the illegal wildlife trades, for the protection of the species and to prevent the illegal trade. Second, for the better management of the protected area, there are some area like the national park hai, wildlife sanctuary hai. They are announced कि these are the park and the sanctuary, but there is a provision, more strict provision for the better management. How we can use the forest produce there, कौन access कर सकता है, what are the different kind of zones in the national park. So these are also under the act. Protection of the forest lands, कि how the right of the people under the forest act is changed. कैसे प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ फॉरेस्ट लैंड को ज्यादा बढ़ाया जा सकता है, and how the protection of the right of the people under this act. So these were the major objectives they want to change under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and in this amendment they are make some changes under it. Now we see the features of the bill one by one. क्या क्या change हुआ है bill में. So this is the important thing you can write exactly what is the change in the new bill. Number one, implement the provision of the CITES. CITES is an agreement between the international governments. It was by the IUCN initially, and now the every government is signed this agreement except the US is not signed the CITES agreement, but all the governments signed the CITES agreement. CITES is an international agreement between the government to ensure that international trades in specimen of the wildlife animals and the plants does not threaten the survival of the species. It's mainly saying if there is any transport of the animal and plants from outside the India, so it's not threaten their protection. So they are adding the schedule 4 now. In the new one they added the schedule 4 according to CITES. Initially there was no schedule 4 or there was no CITES act in the schedules. Now they added the schedule 4 according to the CITES. Like CITES में appendix होते हैं, appendix 1, appendix 2, appendix 3. Now the protection level is added according to the CITES under the schedule 4. Initially it was not there. Provide much more power at the hand of the central government. Now they are having the more power under the hand of central governments. The central government can designate a management authority. Central government can regulate or prohibit the import, trade, possession, proliferation of invasive alien species. Means now the center has given the more power in each and every cases. If you see designation of management of authority at the each level, and the management, proliferation, and the invasive alien species of the animals. Also notify about the different conservation reserves. Now the central government has given the more power as compared to the state governments. But you can see the Forest Right Acts are comes under the concurrent list. But how the central government given the major power? So in the main answer you can write about it कि क्या controversy है इस amendment से related. How the central government given the more power? It's against the federalism. Both the government need to be given the same power. Now the number of schedule are 4 instead of 6. अभी हमने 6 schedule देखे थे. Schedule 1 to 4 was related to animal species. Schedule 5th was related to vermin, and Schedule 6 was related to plant species. But now here are only the 4 schedule. First is same as was in the initial act in the 1972. It's related to the animal species that enjoy the highest protection. The first schedule is same as the initial acts. It is related to the species which having the highest protection. But under the schedule 2, schedule 3 and schedule 4 of the initial act were merged. Means if we can say 2, 3 and 4 are merged and form a single schedule. Schedule 2, schedule 3 and schedule 4 of the initial act were merged and they form the schedule 2 now. Now the schedule 3 become the protection of the plant species. Initially it was under the schedule 6. Now the protection of plant species is under the schedule 3, and they added a new schedule here, schedule 4, specimen listed in the appendices under the CITES. So this was the first time they added the appendices under CITES in this act. So this is a major changes under this act. Initially there was the 6th schedule. Now there is a 4th schedule. First schedule is same as was the initial act, but the second schedule is merged with the second, third and the 4th schedule of the initial act, and the schedule 3 is now the protection of the plant species. Initially it was in the schedule 6, and the schedule 4 is the newly added schedule. It's related to the appendices under the CITES. Like if you reading about any organism, their status is given in their CITES status. They are the comes under the appendix 1, appendix 2 or appendix 3. These are the according to the Wildlife Protection Act. There are 3 type of status now. One is according to Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Another is according to CITES, and third is according to the IUCN Red List. So according to the Wildlife Protection Act, there comes under the schedule 1 and the schedule 2, and according to the CITES, now there comes under the schedule 4. इसमें schedule 4 में कुछ ऐसे species है जो हमारे Wildlife Protection Act में added ही नहीं है. It's given to the protection status to those species which are not added in the Wildlife Protection Acts. मान लो in the Wildlife Protection there are the 100 species, but in the sites there are the 1000 species. जो 900 extra species है, now they are giving the protection status to them according to the sites. Okay, so the control of sanctuary to the chief wildlife warden. If you see, the central authority is also here, chief wildlife warden. Then the registration certificate for the live specimen of the scheduled animals, people must obtain from a registration certificate from the management authority. कि आपने वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एनिमल्स आपने अपने घर में रखा हुआ है, then you need a certificate from the authority you are taking it. Then the voluntary surrender of the captive animals, like government ने black money के लिए बोला था कि आप voluntary surrender कर सकते हैं अपनी मनी को. Similarly, you can voluntarily surrender your animals as well to the government. So these are also the new 3 points added in the act. नहीं, director भी है अभी. Director is at the central level, this is state level. Chief warden control, manage and maintain all the sanctuaries. जो चीफ वार्डन होगा वो सारी सेंचुरीज को कंट्रोल करेगा. 3 लेवल्स पे होता है. वन इज एट द सेंट्रल लेवल, सेंटर अपॉइंट करेगा. पहले भी उस अपॉइंटमेंट के प्रोविजन में कोई चेंज नहीं हुआ है. ऑल अपॉइंटमेंट प्रोविजन आर द सेम as the initial at the center level as well as the state level, but at the district level it will be provided by the state only. ठीक है, पहले भी यही था provision for the appointment. Now the provision is also same for the appointment of the officer. There is no change in the appointment of the officer. And now the exception for the live element, elephant के लिए exception है. सबसे बड़ा major issue यही था act में. Now the bill allow for the commercial trade in the live elephants. Initially, it was not allowed. Now, the bill is allowing the trade for the live elephants. The bill therefore allow the commercial trades in the elephants, and it is the open-ended. It क्या quantity इसने number 2 numbers में 3 में है 4 में 5 है, it's not mentioned there. This is contrary to the previous act, which specifically prohibit trades in the wild animal. For sanctuary falling under the scheduled area is applicable and comes under the 5th schedule. The management plan must be prepared after due consultation with the ग्राम सभा concerned. ये भी 2021 में क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया है. तो अभी मान लो कि इस एरिया में 100 एलिफेंट्स है and they are the 4-5 captive elements. If this one is allowed, the people will kept more kept करेंगे वो अलाउ करने के लिए. It's not like ना, इसके पीछे कोई रूल्स स्पेसिफाई नहीं किया गया. If I am keeping 1 elephant, for tomorrow I will keep the 10 elephants if the trade is allowed. तो इस काइंड का थोड़ा इश्यूज है इसमें. States can declare area adjacent to the national park as a conservation reserve. Now the states can declare outside area of the national park as a conservation reserve. Now about the penalty, there is an increase in the penalty for the general violation. Increase in the penalty from 1 lakh. Initially it was a 25,000. If initially it was a 25,000, now if the penalty is 1 lakh, and for the specially protected animal, it's increased to 25,000. Initially it was a 10,000. In the Wildlife Protection Act, they comes under the Schedule 1. In the sites, they are comes under the Appendix 1. In the Appendix 1 and the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act, they are giving the same kind of protection to both the species. If you compare the protection at the Schedule 1 and you are comparing the protection at the Appendix 1, they are the same kind of protections. इस sites में अगर आप देखो तो trade पे भी ज़्यादा prohibition रहता है as compared to their trades. Yes. So this is the region. This is the main concern in the elephants. This is the main concern of the bill. If you see the negative impact of the bill, this is the main concern. Even in the parliament, the question is asked about all the opposition member asked question on this, why this was added. So there is no answer was given by the government. कि ये क्यों add हुआ है, why they are allowing the transportation of the elephants in a wildlife. So this is the main concern in the bill. हाँ, ये actually bill में यही mention है. When I am reading about the bill, it was in my mind also कि how they are doing it. For the general violation, they are giving the 1 lakh, and for the special violation, they are for the 25,000. Even the each newspaper covering this की 25,000 and 10,000. This is the right fact. ये ऐसा उन्होंने बिल में लिखा है. How they are doing it. ये तो गवर्नमेंट बता सकते हैं, नरेंद्र मोदी बता सकते हैं, तो वही बता सकते हैं how they are doing it. Yeah, or the Minister of Environment they can tell. So the what is the main issue with the bill? So हमने देखा क्या major change हुए हैं. सबसे बड़ा major change हुआ है. They are now the schedule, total schedule are 4. Initially there were the 6 schedules. A new schedule is added regarding the sites, and the one schedule is deleted from the act. Now there are a total 4 schedules. Another is about the trade of the elephants is added, and now about the penalty. If you see about the penalty, and the state can declare the area adjacent to the national parks. So these are the major amendment under this act. So what are the major concern? क्या major concern है? सबसे बड़ा concern वही how the exemption given to the live elephant commercial trades. कैसे government can allow the exemption for the live elephant. Second, center hold over the vermins. Now the vermin schedule is deleted from the act, and initially the Kerala government is allowed for a vermin species, but center is not clearing about the vermin species. And iska issue kya hai? Vermins are damaging the crop of the farmers, so they are applying ki please declare this species as a vermin so they can kill them, but the government is not allowing the killing of the vermin as well. Impact on a tribal community. If this act is more strong, then what's about the forest right produce? कैसे उनको अलाउ किया जाएगा, क्या उसमें कुछ चेंज होगा? That is also not mentioned in the bill. So it's majorly affecting the उत्तराखंड, उत्तर प्रदेश, हिमाचल प्रदेश, जहां जहां पे भी ज्यादा फॉरेस्ट एरिया है वहां पे it will also impact the people. Now sites का ऐड हुआ है, so now we need to be read about the sites, exactly basic information about the sites, exactly sites है क्या, कौन member है, कौन नहीं है, and what is the major function of the sites. So we will see. Sites is the convention on the international trades in endangered species, wild fauna and flora. Fauna and flora means plant and animal both. So it's an international agreement in which states and the regional economic integration organization adhere voluntary, and it's a voluntary agreement. It's not a binding one. It's a voluntary agreement. Sites enter into the force in the 1975, and it was drafted as a result of resolution adopted in 1973 by the member of IUCN. A resolution adopted by a member of IUCN in 1963 for the sites, and it was entered into the force 1975. The site secretariat is located in the Geneva, Switzerland. Site secretariat located in the Geneva, Switzerland, and India is a signatory of the sites. तो ये तो बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now they added in the Wildlife Protection Act, so they are the signatory of the sites. Now, what are the major function of the sites? All import, export, re-export, and the introduction of the species in any country are authorizing under the sites. You need to take a licensing authority. Each party of the convention must be designated one or more management authority. Sites के अंदर कोई ना कोई authority आएगी तभी they can allow it. And Appendix 1, 2, and 3 of the convention are listed the species at different levels and prevented their exploitations. So like the Wildlife Protection Act की तरह यहाँ पे भी 3 appendix हैं, Appendix 1, 2, and 3, which are protecting the status of the animals as well as their transboundary transportation. So it is about the basic information about the sites, कि sites है क्या, करता क्या है और कितना appendix है.